Okay guys, so I'm really nervous. So I do have a little bit of a fear of public speaking. So I know this isn't really public, but it's kind of the same thing when you know a bunch of people's going to be watching it. So my name is Mercedes Wheeler. I recently graduated nursing school. I actually passed the NCLEX a few weeks ago, and in 75 questions, so you can do it. I had this idea that it was just the hardest thing, that it was gonna ruin my life. Like, I knew that what stood between me and being a nurse was the NCLEX, and I realized that that's not the case, because I realized that if you learn the content in school because you want to be a good nurse, not just for the exam, the NCLEX is cake. Because the difference between being a good nurse and just being a nurse isn't the NCLEX. Like, it's not whether you pass in 75 questions. It's not whether you pass in 265 questions. It's not whether it's your 4th time taking it, your 6th time taking it, your 1st, whatever. It's about you knowing the content. And if we just learn it for exams, our long-term retention, we're not going to retain it. We're not going to know it because we don't have to. We don't have to. If we study just for the exams, it doesn't matter. But if we study, if we learn the material, this is what, this material, this is what I'm studying right now, this hypertension, this coronary artery disease, or this PEDS exam, or the stuff on the PEDS exam, the material. If we study it as if this could be what stands between my patient and the grave, or this could be the difference between this little girl having a father tomorrow or her burying him in a week. We think about it in these, I know it sounds really morbid, it sounds really hard to think about terms like that, but if we think about it in terms like that, then we understand the weight that is on these lessons. And we don't need more pressure, right? We don't need more pressure about being good in nursing school or being the best. But if we focus less on the grades and more about, am I going to be a good nurse? Am I going to be able to provide my patient with this care that they deserve so much? Then our entire mentality changes. So the whole reason I'm telling you this is because I love NRSNG. I don't get paid. I'm not paid. I'm not sponsored. I don't, no one convinced me that I needed to write a review or use this product. I just happened to stumble upon it. I don't know how I did. I was looking for resources and I stumbled upon it, and it changed my life. And I'm not being dramatic. It changed my life. I'm a top student, and it's not because I just learn really easy. I'm not just I don't just get things really easily. I have to work really hard, and I don't learn content during class. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes a long time for me to gain that knowledge. And so what worked for me, when I was just starting out, I would write notes, I would read so many chapters, and it would take, you don't have any time. Sorry if you guys hear, it's my Roomba going. If you hear the little clinkling, that's my puppy dogs running around. I'm sitting outside. I actually just got back from my nursing conference, the Kentucky Association of Nursing Conference, and just got back from meeting John Hawes, the creator of NRSNG, in person. And to me, I owe him so much, because I came from nothing. When I say I came from nothing, I know you think being dramatic. No, I grew up in trailers. I never lived in a real home until this one behind me. Our electricity was turned off so many times. My mom's a single mom. She struggled so much, and she got pregnant when she was 15, had me when she was 16. People in my hometown, a lot of people were still getting pregnant and not graduating. I'm the first person in my family to even graduate high school. Like, that's where I'm at. And so for me to become a nurse, for me to finish a bachelor's program, like, the fact that I can show my little brothers and sisters that it is possible, like this is more to me than just being a nurse. Like, this is my life. Like, this is my work. This is what I wanted my whole life. And it wasn't easy. Like, I joined the Army when I was 17 years old. I got sent to Germany when I was 18. I had never even left Kentucky, ever. Like, I live in Louisville, Kentucky. I never even left Kentucky. None of my family had ever left a hometown. And so when I get sent to Germany, like, that was a huge deal for me. I raised my little brothers and sisters. So for me to leave my family, not see them for 2 years, and to be separated from them at 18, just because I have this dream and this passion of going to college and becoming a nurse and doing all these things, like this means a lot to me. So to find a program, to find NRSNG that really takes all this content and takes nursing school, which is so hard. Nursing school is hard. Like I know I keep saying this, but like even though I'm just done, like, it's not like you forget. Like, every single nurse, like, you speak to a nurse who's been done for 40 years, and she's still gonna tell you how hard nursing school was. And that's because it is. Like, you wouldn't want a nurse that had had an easy nursing school, right? Like, no, like, but we don't want it to be as hard as what it is. Like, that stress level is insane. Like, I think I cried like once a week. Like, who does that? That's my dogs. And so when John Hawes and them talk about how they want you to, they want you to get it. Like, they want you to get nursing school. Like, that's where I'm at. Like I found this resource that helped me so much. And so I talk about it all the time. Like my cohort, we're so crazy. Go lay down. Sorry, guys. And so my cohort were probably really tired of hearing about it. But to me, like, I found this thing that worked. Like, it didn't just cover, like, rogue memorization, because who can memorize 30 symptoms of one condition? Like, it's insane. Like, you can't remember 30 symptoms and 6 different diseases and 20 different medications. Like, it's just not possible. But you know what? If you learn the pathophysiology behind it, if you learn the foundation and then you build up, you can infer. You don't have to memorize all that stuff. Like, you just infer it and you figure it out, and it works. And if you find how, like, I don't learn like by audio, like, I don't learn by listening. So, like, those types of videos where they, like, write on the screen and they're talking about it and they're, like, writing it, and, like, as you're taking notes, like, that's what I need. And so when I found NRSNG and, like, that catered to my learning style, like, that was great. But not only, it just doesn't cater to my learning style. Like, I recommend it to people all the time. And there's audio files, there's podcasts, there's case studies, there's audio. There's just picture. There's so many pictures. There's patho sheets for, like, all these different conditions that literally go through, like, what happens in the body. There's for different medications. Like, so many people struggle in pharm, and I'm one of those people. Like, I struggled in pharm, and once I decided, I think I'd quit. Like, I don't know what had happened, but I finally started using NRSNG. Like, I hadn't maximized its use, so I finally started using it for my pharm course. And you know what? Like got an A in it, and, like, that's where it takes you. Like, grades aren't that important, but I use that A to let you know that, like I understood it. Like, those application-based questions, like, I didn't just rogue memorize it. Like, I can still talk about it to this day. Like, I start my first job. Not my first job, obviously, because I was a medic in the Army, and stuff. And I was a sexual assault forensic examiner medic. Like, I did all this stuff. Like, I did stuff in the medical field. But, like, this is my first, like, job. Like, something that I'm so passionate about. And then I can't wait. Like, I can't wait. And I start on Monday, and I get to take all this knowledge I've learned and actually put it into practice. And the good news about it is that I'm on the oncology ICU, so I didn't really cover cardiac in my program very well, like cardiac as far as heart rhythms, analyzing stuff. And so, you know what I'm doing right now? Like, I'm done with nursing school. I passed the NCLEX, but I'm using the cardiac course inside of NRSNG to get me ready, to get me, to hopefully like get me close enough on the same level as my colleagues, so they trust me enough that I'm not going to miss something, that I'm not going to miss an assessment that's critical in saving my patient's life. Like, I keep dramatizing, not necessarily dramatizing, but like focusing on these big pictures, like these things like life or death, because we never actually know when our decision is the difference between life and death. Like, we never know if us missing that small assessment piece that we should have known means this, like, that it actually, like, that's what caused it. Like, we don't know. Like, we don't know. But my thing is, like, I would rather play safe than sorry. Like, I would rather over-assess. I would rather really focus on it than to miss it. So basically, like, all that stuff, like, that's, like, I just told you a lot of things. Like, I told you my life story, and I told you about how much I love NRSNG. Like, I'm a fangirl. Like, I am. And it's not about John or the team, even though I'm incredibly grateful for them, but it's about this product that literally lit a fire under my butt and made me able to understand nursing school, to grasp these concepts that seem so difficult and make it be like, oh, like, of course that's what it means. Like, that makes so much sense. Like, how come I've been struggling with this so hard? Like, ABGs, I do tutoring, and people struggle so hard with it. And I watch that video, and I teach I tutor the same way that you know, in NRSNG, I use what I learned from there and kind of teach it to them that way. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're a genius. I'm like, not, like, I didn't come up with this. Like, this was not me. Like, I don't have that knowledge base. I don't have that to teach you this yet. But this resource will help. Like, it will help. Whatever your needs are, like, and keep in mind, like, no one's paying me. Like, I'm this girl in a house with some dogs who just graduated nursing school. Like, it will help. And even if you're not 100% sure, just download it. Just see what happens. Like, pay $1 for 7 days and just take some time and look at it. And if you look at it and you truly don't think it will help you, that's okay. Like, there are other resources. But if I can let one other nursing student go from where I was, and I was just discouraged, and it was so hard. Like, I cried so often, and it was just so hard. I was up all hours of the night. Like, I didn't get any sleep. I was crazy. I was probably not a nice person. And to where I was glad and happy, and I was able to help my other students, and I was able to do group tutoring and peer tutoring and, like, all this stuff. And I was able, and everyone was asking, like, how do you do all these things? And that's because of NRSNG. Like, I didn't have to spend hours and hours reading a book. And honestly, to tell you a secret, like, once I actually started using NRSNG, I didn't open a book. Like, I know my professors would be like, but, like, I didn't open a book. I didn't do anything. I used my notes. I used NRSNG. I used the patho sheets. I used sometimes audio because I was driving like 3-hour trips sometimes. But, like, it just worked. And all I want is for each and every nursing student to get to that point where you love to learn about it. Like, we're all in nursing school because we love it. Like, we have this passion, this desire to help people, to make a difference. And then you get nursing school and you're discouraged, and you feel like nursing school is out to destroy you. And I can tell you that it's not, even though it feels that way. And I can tell you that this resource, this NRSNG resource, made a huge difference. Huge difference. Hey, go lay down. This is where sorry guys, like, this is real life. But I just want that for you. And so, again, my name is Mercedes Wheeler. If you have any questions, like, I'm a real student, like, or was, I just recently graduated, and you have any questions, like, please reach out to me. Like, I know that it seems crazy, but this is a resource that 200% money back guarantee. If you don't pass the NCLEX the first time, 200% money back guarantee. Like, who does that? Like, that's insane to me. But it's obviously because they care. Like, they care about your success. And these people, like John was a nurse and he struggled and he dropped out. Like, if anyone can understand like what it's like, it's him. So just let me know if you reach out to me if y'all need anything, okay? All right, thanks. Bye.